Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 7 of the World Series on the Blue Jays' home field. This series was intense with multiple games going over 9 innings, with the final game going to 11 innings. Catcher Will Smith's explosive home run ended the game 5-4. The Dodgers are the first team in 25 years to win back-to-back World Series, following their 2024 World Series victory over the New York Yankees. I'm your host, Charley Drechsler, joined today by Sawyer, Bogaty, and Parker Mirzayan. This has been an exciting World Series full of standout performances. What stood out to you the most during the series?
Yeah, I think it's important to first talk about Game 3 that went to 18 innings. It ties the record for the longest World Series game, tying the 2018 Los Angeles Dodgers Boston Red Sox.
Who stayed up for it?
Game 3.
Me. Wait, were you not up?
Oh, for Game 5?
Oh,
of
no,
course
Game 3. You were locked. You were awake, right?
Of Game 3, I was awake. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I usually don't go to bed until like 2:30 anyway. But that game was intense, and I'd like to give a shout out to Will Klein, who threw 4 innings in relief, in extra innings, mind you, throwing what was it, 75 pitches around there?
72.
72 pitches. He had never eclipsed 25 pitches in his career, so to throw 72 pitches and keep that game scoreless was huge for him.
It was truly, the bullpen was shocking. Because I'm a Dodgers fan, I anticipate not a great performance from the bullpen frequently, and I was a little nervous when they brought Kershaw out. I am glad that he had that ending to his career on a good note. The stress that would have been on these pitchers coming in, I could not imagine that. Could you imagine you've played 15 and a third innings your entire time in the regular season, like Klein did, and you come in and you go, cool, I'm going to win the game.
Yeah, and it's the World Series. It's the largest game you could play in baseball.
Yeah.
And you just went in.
With such high stakes, too. It's outrageous.
So late.
I know.
Yeah, and then Mr. October, Freddie Freeman, who I
Yep.
feel like we should be able to dub him as Mr. October now after that home run to give the Dodgers the win. But if you take a look at Game 6, a little bit of controversy towards the end. Addison Barger obviously hitting that ball, they were in Toronto, hitting the ball off the wall, and it gets lodged under the wall. Just a wild, wacky play that should have resulted, if it didn't get lodged, probably in a tie game for Toronto. But it does. The ball gets called, it's a dead ball. It's never happened before in the Rogers Center, and it was just a shocking thing to see.
I know, even if the rule doesn't make sense to viewers, it's the rule as defined. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter the ease at which the outfielder can get the ball. It just matters if it was lodged, like if all momentum stopped and the ball was stuck. So obviously he could have gotten the ball. And some people may argue, like, okay, for like the spirit of baseball, like you should go for it.
Sure, he could have taken the ball
But that's
out
the thing.
the wall.
Guys, it's the World Series. This is the World Series. If they can use like strategy and knowing the rules to get some kind of advantage, you take it.
Yeah, well, look, the ball, it was lodged, right? I think that's important. It got stuck. It very obviously got stuck, but I think we should talk about just how difficult it is. I've never seen it happen in the Rogers Center before, and Mark DeRosa actually went on MLB Network a day later and kind of showed viewers how difficult it is to get the ball actually under the wall. It has to hit at such
You have to hit it so hard, too.
and it has to be at such a weird angle, and the fact that it did get stuck, it's just crazy. And then the ending of that game, Kike Hernandez catching a line drive, throwing a runner out at second. You can't get doubled up in that situation.
I know.
Spirit of the World Series.
There was an interview that Kike did, and he was talking. He was like, I could not see the ball. Like, it was stuck in the light. Like, I heard the way that the ball sounded when it broke off the bat, and I knew, okay, it's not going that far. It's gonna be close. So he ran a little more shallow, and like the fact that you have that ability to make that decision on the sound of the ball off a bat is just so impressive to me.
This game was full of so many surprises. I mean, we got the most baseball we possibly could. I said this before, 74 total innings of baseball. So it was great. I'm a Yankees fan. I don't like the Dodgers winning.
Sorry.
But it was great baseball. It was great to see so much baseball going late into October. But let's talk a little bit about the offseason. This is expected to be a massive free agent class with the possibility of Tiger star Tariq Skubal being traded. What are some of your guys' predictions for this offseason?
Well, we can talk about Skubal. I know, obviously, Sawyer has been trying to talk about this entire time we've been doing MLB, but offering $80 million for a contract, are we for real right now? Like, that just is so shocking for the amount of talent you have. It just feels like a little bit of a cheap play by the Tigers, and obviously, you're going to try to do the best for your team financially, but it just feels like they know that like their fans are dependable and their fans will come to their games no matter what. So it just kind of feels like cheap and kind of shady. Like, okay, you're going to fill the stands, so you don't really prioritize talent
it's a generational low ball offer from the Tigers, and I really hope that they do give him a much higher, a much greater extension and a much greater offer, or else he's going to get moved. He's going to request a trade. He's not going to want to stay in Detroit, and there are plenty of teams who will gladly pay that contract. The New York Mets are one of them.
The Mets do pay the most money in baseball.
The New York Yankees are one of them. I hate to say it, but the Los Angeles Dodgers are one of them. Look out for a team like the Boston Red Sox. Could you imagine the 1-2 punch of Garrett Crochet and Tarek Skubal?
Well, there's some players from the Mets. I mean, that's the organization that plays the most money, and those are some players up for grabs this season. What do you think is going to happen with them?
Yeah, well, look, I'll start with Pete Alonso. Obviously opted out of his deal basically as soon as the Mets got eliminated from playoff contention, which I thought wasn't the best move from him, but I understand he's trying to make the most money. He does have Scott Boras as his agent, who is known to be kind of a stickler, trying to get the most money for his players possible. Pete's it would be very upsetting to see him go from New York just because he's a lifelong Met.
I know he definitely holds a role in the team that you can't just throw away. But additionally, he's looking at a longer contract. It was estimated 7 years. That was the goal he was looking for.
Right.
Who is going to give a 7-year contract to an almost 31-year-old player?
Yeah.
And obviously, being 30, that's not crazy in normal world, but we're talking baseball.
And baseball has the most games of any sport, so that is a long season. He's 30. He wants a 7-year contract to be 37 at the end of that contract.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy for a team to commit to. So
it's a lifelong deal. Whatever team he does sign with, if it is that big contract, it's a lifelong deal. But going on to the other New York team, Cody Bellinger. Could be
he's older too.
Guys, I need him to come home. He holds a nostalgic place in my heart as a Dodgers fan. I don't think he is coming home. I really, really hope, because we do need a strong force on offense. There have been times where I'm like, guys, we could use some of that belly stance. And obviously he's getting older, so his speed is decreasing at bat. However, I don't know. I'm seeing either Phillies, staying Yankees, or hopefully going to the Dodgers.
I hope he stays Yankees, but
I also think he goes back to the Yankees. I feel like he loves to play in New York, which is so rare for a player to enjoy to play in New York. But
I mean, the energy is pretty amazing in New York, and they do tend to go far. Let's not talk about this year, but last year they made it pretty far.
They were competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last name we should talk about is Alex Bregman, who could definitely look to make a change from Boston. I don't actually see him leaving because he did have a lot of success there. It doesn't feel like a ton of teams really want an aging Alex Bregman, so I could see him staying with Boston.
I don't know, the Tigers wanted him last offseason. They were pushing for him with that $171 million contract, but he turned that down, and now they're valuing his contract around $180 million. Do you think he's open to that?
I don't think the Tigers, if they're not going to pay Tarek Skubal, they're not going to pay Alex Bregman, that's for sure.
And they have the money, guys. We know they have the money.
They do.
Okay. The debate is settled. The Dodgers are the hottest team in the MLB. I know we are excited to see where players end up this offseason, but that is all for today. For Parker Mirzayan and Sawyer Bogaty, I'm Charley Drechsler. Thank you for tuning in to Penn State Sports Night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.